Welcome you back to Small School Saturday from Division I Rejects. We're here live at Minnesota Duluth, but the man that's joining us now on this show, he's in his 14th season as the head coach for the Mavs, an all-time record 146 wins, only 37 losses, the winningest coach in Mankato history. Certainly so much more I could add to this introduction, Coach, but I'll leave it with this. It's head coach Todd Hoffner. Thank you so much for joining the show today. We are so incredibly privileged to share this desk with you, my friend.
Awesome. Appreciate the time and the opportunity. I love what you guys are doing, and this is awesome.
I wanted to ask you to start things off. Your teams, I feel like there's a lot of teams in the country that come out and they might lay a dud. I'm talking about an absolute goose egg in week 0 or week 1. It feels like Mankato has certainly been the exception. How do you prepare your guys to maybe shorten that acclimation or adjustment period and come out and give their best ball early on? It feels like you guys are clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We played Northwest Missouri State in our first game, which is a perennial power. They were 5th in the nation in wins over the last 10 years, and we were 6th, 7th, something like that. So they've definitely done a fantastic job with their program, and we've been playing lights out the first 2 games since we started this week 0 stuff. So we've had the fortunate opportunity to win those games, and we did it in pretty dominant fashion.
You did.
And so we're excited where we're at. Maybe we should have played Duluth in game 1. Maybe we played a little better.
Love that. Had to kick that helmet out for this segment. Let's get the Mavs front and center for this piece when we got you here at the desk. And you guys, you earned a spot in the national semifinal a year ago. I want to know how much of your message and kind of deal to the team this year is tied up in upholding that standard or trailblazing their new path. Obviously, a lot of guys that were a part of the last year's team, I think that differs a lot coach to coach. How much do you tie into last team's success or put into this team kind of blazing their own way?
You know, when you start the season, you go off of last year's national rankings, right? So they have us really high. We're in the top 10, top 15 in the nation, and so those are last year's news. So when we beat Northwest Missouri State, the message was to the team, now you have those national rankings. They now are yours, and you own them. Prior to that, it was somebody else's news.
Correct.
It was yesterday's news. So, you know, now we have these rankings. Now we've got to live up to those expectations that others have put on us.
And now I want to talk to you about Ryan stepping in as your OC. It feels like a phenomenal story that we definitely need to mention on here. A guy who I'm sure you'll tell me you had the privilege of coaching him here, a guy you got to see develop. And he's a big piece of that 2019 team that made it to the Natty. What has he shown you about, I think, a year and a half on the job, and how rewarding has it been to have that reunion of coaching him and bringing him back on in such a pivotal role of your staff now?
Yeah, there was 3 guys we tried to hire a couple of years ago when we hired Coach Schlichty. He was one of 3 highly sought-after coordinators, and it was great that he was a former quarterback for us.
Yes.
He led us to a national championship appearance in 2019. He's done a fantastic job with our 2 upstart quarterbacks. We have 2 young men, and Maximus Sims and Mitchell Thompson, who are splitting some time currently at the quarterback position, and that's something that he did when he played too. And the last time we won up here was 2017, and he was the quarterback.
That's awesome, man. Now talk about like local, homegrown talent. 4-year starter here came out of Mankato West, if I do believe I did my research correctly. You got some good talent over there, and you keep them around in that program. If you got a good one, you like what you see, you keep them in that building?
Yeah, no doubt about it. So for the first time, Coach Schlichty never had to experience this, but the first time last night, Mankato East beat Mankato West. First time in 19 years during the regular season. So it was definitely a magical moment for the east side, the west side. We love those guys too, but they had what's called the jug. It's the trophy that they play for, but trying to keep local talent in the area and keep them on our roster is really important. We don't get to keep them all, but it's great to have them.
Absolutely. And I'm assuming that was must-see viewing for you and your staff then?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We
right in your backyard, right? You got to win that.
Yeah, we got to win those fights. We don't win them all, but we do love it that Coach Schlichty came and balled out for us and did a really good job.
He certainly has done that and certainly did that in the past. Talk about the other side of the ball. Is it much nicer to see my man Marcus Hansen in the right colors this time around?
You know, it's great. Marcus Hansen had a lot of success against the Bulldogs, and we lately have not had that kind of same success. So Marcus will be one of our captains today. He's a guy that gave a little message to the team, and we really, you know, cherish him. He's a quality young man, phenomenal person, great student, great football player. He's a complete package, and we're happy he's wearing our colors in number 95 today.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to see him perform. We had the chance to have him on the show back when he was with the Beavs, but we definitely need to make that reunion now with the Cato on his chest. Seth, what do you got for Coach?
Coach, it feels like every single year your team amplifies one trait, and that's toughness. Is that a daily discipline that you guys are preaching every day? Does that go into the recruiting process? You're trying to find those tough individuals? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think it's important that we're mentally, physically, and emotionally tough, right? And we're going to face one of the toughest teams in our conference. They play physical football. They play fast. They're going to call for the question. They're going to try and put the chokehold on you when it comes to constricting what you do. So we'll have our hands full, and we try and pride ourselves in that too. And that was a part of the magical run last year. We went to the NCAA playoffs and made it to the regional championship and won that against Bemidji. So we've had some national success, and hopefully today's another opportunity for us to showcase our talent.
Absolutely. Got one more for you from Jimmy, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Thanks again for coming on the show. It's a pleasure to have you. So let me ask you this. How do you balance player development along with the astounding success of your program?
You know, it's tough. You know, in today's day and age with the transfer portal, it's like a new roster every year. We do try and bring in our nucleus, our ground floor guys and day one guys, and bring them through the program. And then we'll backfill any needs that we have with transfers. And we've had some success, and hopefully today we're going to play the best team that we played on our schedule in Minnesota Duluth, and it'll be a tough contest for us. But, you know, trying to get that cohesion, that continuity, that gel, all those things. We're in the infant stages of 2025, and today will be a phenomenal test for Minnesota State Mankato.
Hold on to the ball. Don't put up any turnovers. Play your brand of ball, of course. Exemplify that toughness. What else can you tell me about keys to today's game for you and your staff and your team?
You know, our big five are, it's called the five-star system. So we want to win the turnover battle.
Sure.
We want to rush for 200. We want to stop our opponent from rushing over 100. We want to score 31 points, and we want to hold our opponent to 19. That's our star system. In our first game, we played lights out. We had 4.5 stars. And
like that.
But, you know, our last game, not so much. We were 3.5 stars. We didn't probably play the greatest, but, you know, it was definitely set up to be a trap game last week against Minot with this on the horizon. So we'll see how we play today. It's going to be exciting for these young men to play in such a phenomenal atmosphere when you have the Military Appreciation Day.
Yes.
And, you know, hearts out to all those peeps. And, you know, it's just a phenomenal venue. I told our guys, you're not going to play other than at home in homecoming at our place. You're not going to play in a better D2 venue than University of Minnesota Duluth today.
Absolutely, man. We take another look here live at the tailgate from Minnesota Duluth, and this parking lot is shoulder to shoulder. It's sardines here at Duluth, Coach. It's very much, I will say, I want to give you a credit for this too. These guys wouldn't show up if they thought this was going to be not a barn burner or a great matchup. This is a credit to you and the program that you've built as well. You've built up this matchup, this rivalry. I want to talk about a little bit more about that Minot State game. You guys, you mentioned it. You let up a lot in the rushing game. What are, without getting technical with me, of course, still got a little bit of time before kickoff, what are some of the things that you know you needed to address defensively to get a little bit of a better result here Saturday, rushing defense, that front seven against the attack from Duluth?
You know, nobody in our league does what Minot does. They run the split bone, the wishbone, the veer of the eye. They run all versions of the triple option, right? And they're really, really good at it. And that's a tough animal. Today, we're going to play a Minnesota Duluth offense that is almost equally as tough because of the quarterback play, the quarterback running the game. You know, if we can't stop the run, it's definitely going to be a long day for Minnesota State.
Last one for you. What has surprised you about this squad so far at Mankato in 2025?
You know, how we got off to a great start. We had so many new faces on defense. We had quite a few returning on offense. But just how we started the season against Northwest Missouri State, really, really impressed with how we showed up, showed out, and balled out in that game. And really loved what they did in that game. The second game, you know, there's some things that the people were proud of, but, you know, we probably underestimated our opponent, but I don't think that'll happen today, that's for sure.
But to be able to do that and come out with a win, that's important, right? To be able to move on, to make those adjustments, and also still have the result.
It's really important for us to defend our home turf. That was a really big part of this season, and we have 6 home games this year. This is our first road contest. This is Duluth's first home game. There's going to be a lot of juice in this game, a lot of excitement, and people who can keep their head, I think, will be all right and be able to play continuous football and hopefully get some first downs.
A lot of energy, man.
And stop a prolific offense, right?
Yes,
These guys are nothing short of amazing.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach. We're going to get the Cato faithful rolling up here shortly, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. Hey, I got to tell you something. I got to get a shout out. I got to get a shout out to my son, right? He plays at UW Eau Claire.
There you go.
2-0 Blue Golds.
Here we
right?
go.
How about the Blue Golds?
You're
I know we
talking
got
to-
some Stouties
Yes,
and
sir. River
some
Falls.
Falcons here. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
come on, give the Golds a little love. You got to do it. Get a little shout
They
out.
could be back in the conference, Coach. They could be back. Coach Hoffner, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. You are all set. We really appreciate you taking some time. We are so pumped to get on the field after the show and watch you guys
You
go
guys
at it.
are amazing.
Thank
Horns
you,
up.
man. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Head coach of Minnesota State. That's Todd Hoffner, everyone. The absolute man.